Hello, my name is Amina, and in this video, I'll talk about equatives, comparatives, and superlatives. Here's a list of the things we'll talk about. In equatives with singular nouns, focus adverbs with equatives, and the negatives. In comparatives, long and short forms, the special forms of comparatives, and comparatives forms repeated. In superlatives, long and short forms, clues for using, and the special forms of superlatives. First of all, what are equatives, comparatives, and superlatives? They are considered to be the special forms of adjectives. They are used to compare two or more things. First, equatives. Equatives are used to say that two things are equal in quality. We use as plus adjective plus as. For example, if Dan was 5'10", his father is also 5'10", we say something like, Dan is as tall as his father. Another example is, my sister's hair is as long as mine. There's an exception in the form of equatives with same. We don't use the normal form as plus same plus as. Instead, we use the plus same plus as. The sentence has to be something like, her handwriting isn't the same as mine. Equatives are also used to say that two things are unequal in quality. We use not as plus adjective plus as. For example, today isn't hot. Yesterday was hot. The sentence has to be something like, today isn't as hot as yesterday. Another example is, my house isn't as big as your house. The use of equatives differs with singular nouns. Therefore, the form used is changed into as plus adjective plus article a plus singular noun. For example, Daniel is as good a dancer as his partner. She isn't as good a speaker as Mr. Walker. We can also use focus adverbs such as just, only, and even with equatives. Example, my phone is just as new as hers. You're only as achievable as you set your mind into. She's not even as smart as her sisters. For the negatives, we use not so plus as. For example, Sarah is not so stubborn as she used to be. The movie wasn't so good as the book. Comparatives. Comparatives are used to say that a person, a thing, or an action has more or less quality than the other. More or less are used before long forms and er to short forms. For example, this story is more exciting than ever. Mike is funnier than Isaac. There are some adjectives that can be treated as both long and short forms, such as friendly, quiet, clever, common, crazy, likely, lonely, narrow, simple, untidy, yellow, and more. So we can either say their kitchen is untidier than their neighbors, or their kitchen is more untidy than their neighbors. Another example is Hannah is crazier than Emily, or Hannah is more crazy than Emily. Be aware of the special forms of comparatives, such as good, well, bad, badly, and far. For good and well, we use better. It is better if we leave early. For bad and badly, we use worse. Her cooking is worse than her mother's. As for far, we first have to know the difference between further and farther. Farther is used for physical distance. Further, on the other hand, is used for metaphorical or figurative distance, or to mean additional. The product needs further testing. We don't plan on running any farther than 3 miles. We use comparatives forms repeated with and to emphasize that something is increasing or decreasing. For example, Delia gets smarter and smarter every day. The youth is interacting more and more with new politics. We also use the plus comparative to say that one development is connected to another. For example, the less he participates in class, the less grades he will get. The younger the person is, the easier they can learn. The sooner you get there, the better. Finally, superlatives. They are used to say that people, things, or actions have the most or least of a quality. We usually use the most, or the least are used before long forms. To short forms, we use est. For example, Dan is the tallest in the class. That was the most difficult test of all our tests. Her excuse is the least convincing of them all. We cannot use than with superlatives. Instead of saying, he is the tallest than I, we say, he is the tallest in our class. We don't use of after singular words for groups or places. Instead, we use in or on. For example, Suzanne is the youngest player on this field. Diana isn't the shortest girl in this photo. Here are some clues for using superlatives. They are included in sentences that include in the world, country, city, school, of all the, one of, have, has, ever. For example, He was the noisiest student of all. Anne is one of the most serious students in class. We also have special forms of superlatives. Good, well is best. Bad, badly is worst. Far is either furthest or farthest. Examples: I believe that he is the best singer in the world. Their apple pie is the worst dish I ever tasted. The farthest end of the garden has blue brick surrounding the edge of the grass. Love was the furthest emotion from my mind. Thank you.